I'm Melanie Schoendorfer, butcher and executive sausage maker for Babe's Meat Encounter, and today I'm trying frozen breakfast sausages. So, as somebody who makes sausage on an almost daily basis, this is kind of fun for me because I've never actually had fully cooked, store-bought breakfast sausages. Back in the day before we were actually making sausages for the business or even for ourselves, maybe once in a while we'd buy like the fresh Jimmy Dean fresh sausage and cook them off like that. Now, right off the bat, I can tell they're all pretty uniform in shape. Color all seems to be about the same. Traditionally, breakfast sausage is made with pork, but of course you can find them made with turkey or even chicken sausage, or maybe even like a tofu sausage if you're not eating animal proteins. Now also, they can come two ways, usually cased in a casing, which is a sheep or lamb intestine, or loose, maybe just preformed and no casing at all. So you're not gonna get any of that snap. It's hard to tell at the moment if any of these have a casing or not, but we'll find out soon enough. We're a big fan of breakfast sausage for special occasions in our house. Often, even for dinner, we'll make some crepes, cook up some breakfast sausage with some sauteed mushrooms, fill those crepes, slather maple syrup all over. It's amazing dinner. A lot of times when there's a high amount of fat in the sausage, maybe some liquid, you're gonna get some shrinkage. So I can see off the bat, most of them are maintaining their original shape and length. Some of them have shrunk down significantly. So that's completely normal. And I'm sure you can microwave these too, probably be a little faster, but I kind of like getting a little bit of char. All right, some of these I think are done. That guy's still frozen. I mean, we can start with these ones, I guess. So, looking at them, I can see like the texture. It's probably like a fine to even a medium or coarse grind on the sausage. With breakfast sausages, you usually want a very mild grind when you're grinding the meat, to maybe a medium if you want a little bit more texture. So let's do a sniff test. Very mild, and I'm gonna say this one is possibly maple flavored. Now again, because I cooked all the sausages in the same pan, there may be a little bit of residual juices. So off the bat, texture is very, very smooth inside. You're not seeing any spices at all, really. It's very uniform. And there's a maple flavor added to this one. Synthetic maple. It doesn't seem very natural to me. Again, Canadian coming out. But not bad. Salty, I mean, traditional little breakfast sausage. All right, let's try this one. This one maintained its shape pretty well. Didn't really lose any fat or juices. This may even be a natural casing. I don't know, let me cut into this guy. Tiny little bit coarser in texture, a little bit juicier too. And I can actually see what is probably a parsley or some herbs inside maybe. Smell, doesn't smell like there's anything added to it. A little bit more texture. I like this one. This one's good. I actually prefer it to that one. All right, this guy, kind of wrinkly on the outside. So I'm probably gonna say maybe no casing on this one. All right, cut inside again. Looks to be like a little bit, maybe a coarser grind. Also, I can see some what looks to be pepper inside, so that's a nice spice. This one is different from the other two. I don't know, definitely more pepper. I kind of like that a lot, as opposed to the sweetness of the first one. This guy too, pretty small, lumpy. Texture inside looks a little more emulsified and possibly even less fat. It isn't as juicy as some of the other ones. And you can kind of tell when going into a sausage if it's gonna be a little bit drier perhaps than something else with a little bit more fat. Doesn't smell to be any kind of additives or maple or anything. Nice flavor. Texture's a little weird. Nice pepper finish on this one though. That's nice. I kind of like a little bit of bite at the end. And this guy, the last one, the biggest one that we had. Again, nice, not too much of a coarse texture. This one could also be a cased sausage, it looks like. Definitely the saltiest one of the batch. A little too salty for me, but has more of like a gristly flavor. This one tastes more like a traditional sausage, I want to say. Again, nice pepper finish. The flavor is really good on that one. I don't know, maybe you cooked it a little bit longer, so it's got a nice, almost snap to it. I'm going to say I'm not a fan of like fake maple. So that's probably my least favorite. I'm also personally not a big fan of mixing the sweet and the savory together. I like my sausage to kind of just be, when I said salty, maybe peppery. Perhaps I like this one the most, mostly just because of the pepper finish. Yeah, had a good balance. The texture was nice. Yeah, these are all pretty good. I mean, not too bad for frozen, fully cooked sausages. Yeah, this one is my least favorite. Tastes of like synthetic maple syrup. Maybe a little bit more filler too. Oftentimes when you're making a breakfast sausage, people will often put some kind of filler, maybe some bread to fill it up. This one tastes as if that's the case. So these two were probably my least favorite. And these three are my top three in no particular order. So, brown and serve, Vermont maple. I knew it wasn't Canadian right off the bat. So if you like sweet with your breakfast, I mean, go for it. But again, for me, you want to add maple syrup to your dish later. All pork. Yeah, this one was pretty good. Oh, it did have a little bit of maple too. I tasted this, a little bit of sweetness, not as pronounced as this one, but there was a sweetness to this. That's probably why those two are my least favorite. This guy, I thought was maybe a turkey, but I guess not. So this is country recipe. That might explain the slightly coarser texture. Maybe a little bit more pepper, but not nearly as peppery as the last two. All right, Jimmy Dean. All right, original. This one was pretty good. I was gonna say, like, this was probably one of my favorites. And then Smithfield, fully cooked pork, original links. Yeah, this one was definitely the saltiest of the batch and maybe the most, I don't wanna say blended. I mean, it had a nice texture, it had a good spice, but yeah, I mean, I think the Jimmy Dean one may have been my favorite of all of them. And Jones's I've never tried before. Banquet, never had them before. These three are more of a thumbs up for me. And if you do like the maple flavor, I mean, I guess you can go for these two. Yeah, nothing beats like a fresh breakfast sausage. So that's a different category. That's a tasting for another day.